Every time that direct deposit hits, most people just blow it. It's like clockwork. Rent, food, a little treat to yourself, and then all of a sudden, boom, it's gone. So we got to do better. What if there was a system, a routine that you just followed that actually kept more of your money? That's what accountants do. That's what people that are good with just managing their money do. So let's talk about it. By the way, if you're new here, I cover finance, tech, and productivity. And I should mention that most of the people watching the channel are not subscribed. So if you could do me a quick favor and hit that subscribe button, that really helps the channel out a lot. And let's talk about this routine now. So there's 9 things that I want to go over. And number 1 is to pay yourself first. That's right. Actually pay yourself first to save 10 to 20%, if not more, into your savings. And ideally, a high yield savings account, which pays much more interest than a regular checking account. Put most of the money there from that 10 to 20% or whatever percent you decide. And then in your checking account, just whatever is going to be taken out, just enough to cover what bills that you're going to pay, which I'll cover soon. So that's 1, pay yourself first, high yield savings account, and enough for bills in a checking account. Number 2 is to cover your must-haves. So this is where you have money allocated for your rent, utilities, groceries, and stuff that you keep for having life function normally. And you should already know what these costs are monthly. If not, just write it down so it's just right there and you can know right off the bat what it is. And once you do that, you have a cleaner picture of what you're working with. The third thing that you want to do is to kill off your high interest debt. I know you might not like thinking about it, but debt is eating your money alive, especially with credit cards that have high interest rates. So every time that check comes in, put some money into those balances. I'm not saying drop everything, but don't just focus on the minimums because that interest is going to get you in the long run. Even if it's just $50, do something and do it consistently. All right, number 4 is to stack up your emergency fund. Just in case something happens, something breaks down, you have to go to emergency room, doctor visit, whatever it could be. Car repair, surprise bills, job loss, layoffs, whatever. So have some emergency fund set up. That's important. I know you don't like to think about it. It's almost like a negative thing to think about, but it's reality. So do that. By the way, just want to check in. Let me know in the comments, what's the first thing that you normally do when your check hits? All right. So 5th thing, invest in your education. Now I know that kind of seems out of the blue, but you always want to be improving your skill sets so you could do better no matter what industry you're in. So you could read books. If you don't like reading, I don't like reading, but I like learning. Do you like learning? If you don't like learning, then I can't help you. But if you don't like reading, I could totally get that. I used to hate having to sit in front of a book and just like, just trying to consume some knowledge, just like sitting there for a long time. I always loved audiobooks. So if you're like me, the routine that I follow is I use a service called Blinkist, which is an app that you could get like book summaries from. And then they're an audio version. So you can like listen to book summaries for like 20 to 30 minutes. Anyway, like from 15 to 30 minutes. And then if the book is really good, then I'll usually go to Audible and then listen to the entire book. And if it's really, really good, then I'll want to take some notes. And so I could actually like listen to the audiobook while I have like a hard copy of the book. But normally I'll just go from book summaries to audiobooks, which are great because both of those you could just do other things while you're listening, and I don't mind hitting like the rewind button. And then if it's super great, then I could have like a hard copy if I need to like make physical notes. All right. So again, for number 5, just have some money for upgrading your knowledge. And if it's not those things, it could just be podcasts or it could be seminars. All right. That's all it is for number 5. Improve self-improvement. All right. Number 6 is to siphon off some money for fun. This is the time that you have to just like enjoy, relax, and do the things that you want to do with your friends, or if not, solo. So not much more to say about that. I spend a lot of time in education. You know what fun is. Now let's go to number 7, which is moving money to sinking funds. Those are expenses that are not absolutely necessary, but you know they might come up, such as birthdays, holidays, just predictable annoyances. So drop a few bucks somewhere in order to have some sinking funds available. Okay, so next is number 8, subscriptions. The next thing you want to allocate money for are for subscriptions. Those annoying things that you kind of forget about, whether it's like annual or monthly. So like Amazon Prime or maybe like car wash subscriptions. So just make sure that you have money allocated for those. And the last thing, and not the least, because this is pretty important, is to put the rest of the money in investing. So whether it's an index fund or some other stocks that you have in a brokerage account, put as much as you can into your savings. And that's money that you're not going to touch for a really long time. And yes, I know you might already have a 401k that takes money out of your paycheck, but don't just write that off. There are IRAs that you could have, whether it's a Roth or traditional, and drop in the comments if you want me to talk about those also. But you need to have more than like a 401k. If you don't know what a 401k, let me know in the comments if you want me to talk about that too. All right. But you need to keep investing. So the rest of your money should go for that. Okay, so that's it. If you found this helpful, check out my video here on this topic and drop a comment. Let me know after watching this video, what are you going to change? Or you're not going to change anything. Either way, I want to know. That's it. I will see you in the next one.